And there is the campanile on campus, which could be seen all over the town. It was so tall. Well, when I was at the University of California, the class of 1942, there were socials, football games, and I used to go to the YMCA, and there was the evening religious services. Later on, I went to Berkeley to see if I could find the house where we used to live in, but the house was gone, and this very modern building was there instead. When we were there, we saw newspaper articles like that. War, Oahu bombed by Japanese planes. That must have been Pearl Harbor. Japanese bombing Honolulu. Sudden, drastic changes. December 7th, 1941. There were signs like this all over the road as we drove by. Slap the Jap. Really made me feel kind of down in the dumps when I'd see these things in the highway as we drove by. And then it says, getting trim for fighting him. There were signs like that up. And I thought, my father doesn't look like that with buck teeth and slanty eyes. But that was to try to get people to feel anti-Japanese. And signs like this, bye-bye Japs. The Union people were really against the Japanese living in town. The labor union felt like that. Then there were signs like this. This is the first time I knew what was going to happen to us. Ouster of all Japs in California. When my parents saw that, they said, well, we're Japanese citizens because by law we can't get citizenship, but you're an American citizen, so don't worry. You'll be able to stay in our house, and we're the one that might be taken away. I was walking home from campus one day, and the kids said, there's a Jap, and they were pretending they were at war. I just told the kids to cut it out.
Did you draw that?
Yeah. Well, they were trying to chase me, but I just said, okay, kids, cut it out. But they were shouting. Oh, yeah, I was on campus. I used to study in the library, and I think the other students had radios, and they were listening to what was happening. We heard about Pearl Harbor and what was going to happen. And my friends and I, we said, you know, maybe something's going to happen to our parents, but we're citizens, so I guess we'll just take care of the home and keep up the yard and keep working. But we didn't know what was going to happen to us. But we didn't know what was going to happen to us. To them. Big question mark. Well, we soon found out there were signs all over, posted on telephone poles and in the stores and everything. Instructions to all persons of Japanese ancestry. See, we thought it would be people with Japanese citizenship, but it looks as though everybody, citizen or not, to all persons of Japanese ancestry, Japanese aliens, and we were now called non-citizens. And this is what was on all these signs. Order the Western Defense Command, 4th Army. Wartime, civil control, administrative issues. Civilian exclusion orders. This is what we were told to do. Turn in all contrabands, books, cameras, radios, phonographs, records. And then this really affected me. Curfew from dusk to dawn, 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That was a boo-boo. And then there was a 5-mile travel restriction. If you worked further away than 5 miles, you couldn't work. Then they registered family numbers to every family. And our number was 13533. And they used these numbers for baggage, and just like we were baggage, each family member had a number like that. A book, Citizen 13660, author and artist Mine Okubo. I knew Mine. She was an artist, so she wrote a book called Citizen 13660, and those books are still in the libraries. She's an artist, so she drew this picture of her getting ready to go to internment camp. 1 suitcase and your bedding. And there's her brother. He has his bedding and a suitcase apiece. That's all we could take with us. So we had to get rid of everything we owned. See, and they have the number on themselves as well as their baggage. We're loaded on to buses, taken to somewhere. We didn't know where. In each one of these pictures, Mine is, you can see her at the lower right-hand corner. There's a picture of her. She's in all the pictures. There we are, being loaded, and it doesn't show, but those military men had guns, as if we were going to go any place or could find any place to stay or get a job. Nobody was going to run. See, there he is with his gun. Everybody's dressed in their Sunday best. See, the mother put the kids in their Sunday clothes, and the girl even had patent leather shoes. Doesn't show, but.
About how old were you about when this? About how old were you at this?
21.
21.
Yeah, I was a senior at the university. I thought, I was planning on graduating soon, but I never did. I couldn't. And the men came, the military people came and said they want the young men, the Nisei men, to volunteer for the army. And they said, forget it. If we're going to be put in prison like that, how come you want us to join the military? So not very many people signed up at that point. Even the sick and the ailing were taken to internment camp. The man in that scene is shown being put into the trains to take him to internment camp. Well, they let us out for a little airing out of the trains, and there we are standing outside, and the military men are facing us as if we're going to run away out in the middle of the sticks, the country. Well, there were 10 relocation centers, and we were in Utah. 10,000 people in Utah, Topaz. I guess the one in Poston had 20,000 people. Internment lasted until November 1944. Welcome to Topaz City. When we arrived, there was the drum and bugle corps greeting every busload of people that arrived. And, that was a really welcoming sound, and to hear the young people doing that. Not that we wanted to be in camp. Here we are, in the middle of the desert. So, in the summer it was beastly hot, and in the winter we had never met, coming from Berkeley and the San Francisco area, we never had seen snow or the cold. We didn't have clothes to keep us warm. And I saw this picture which showed the population. Very few people, you can't see, but on the top of that tree where there's a point, that's how many older people there were. And you could see as a tree, you go down further, the many more younger people. I found this picture in a book, so I thought I'd put that in. The farm people had to get rid of their farms and their buildings and livestock, and they had a harder time getting ready to go. They only gave you 3 days.